What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today, you're joining me with my 2023 Tesla Model Y all-wheel drive 4680 battery pack. And we're going to be doing a battery health test in Tesla's service mode to see how much degradation my Tesla has. So for those not familiar, Tesla's service mode, which has been ungeolocked as of about a year ago, meaning that you can use it anywhere. Previously, you had to be on a Tesla property in order to use it, has a function called battery health test. And what that does is you basically start with your battery as low as possible. I believe they say under 50%, but I started with it at about 13%. Then the vehicle continues to run the battery all the way down to zero. It actually just burns it all off as heat, runs the cooling system, and basically just dumps heat outside rather than into the cabin or into the battery or anything like that. You have to be plugged into an over 6 kilowatt AC EVSE, or charger as most people would call it. And then it charges it back up to 100% and basically measures how much energy is going into your battery pack and how healthy your battery is. So I ran this last night. We'll go through the procedure and everything, and then at the end, we'll share some of the results. But I think this will be surprising to you guys. This car has 33,000 miles on it. I do cycle the battery pretty deep, pretty frequently, so running it low, charging it back up high. I do charge it to 100% fairly often because I am driving long distances fairly often for road trips, but generally when it's sitting, I do try to keep it somewhere in the middle of the battery pack, somewhere in the 40 to 60 range. And this does have about 64% DC charging, so hardly any AC charging, lots of DC charging. This car has had a pretty hard life, but I think it should do pretty well. The Tessie app shows 4.85% degradation. That's with logging since the very beginning of having this car. And we'll see how that adjusts after it runs this battery test, kind of as a calibration for that tool as well. So comment your guesses down below on how much degradation you think my Model Y has, and then basically stay tuned till the end and you'll see what the final result is. And then for those unaware, so the Model Y with the 4680 battery pack was a bit of an experimental vehicle for Tesla. They basically came out with this shortly after they spun up the 4680 battery cell line, Cato Road, and then later at Giga Austin. And the 4680 battery cell is kind of what Tesla announced at the Battery Day. It's a new form factor. It's very big. It's like the size of a soda can, basically, rather than like the C-size battery that you'd see in a lot of other vehicles with the 2170 or 18650. And those dimensions are referring to the width and then the height. So just as a reference there, so 18 is the width, 65 is the height, or for 4680, it's 46 wide, 80 tall, and those measurements are in millimeters. But basically, this battery cell carried a lot of promises for Tesla. And unfortunately, it seems to have lived up to none of them. My Model Y has really poor charging. They claim a max charging speed of 230 kilowatts. I have never seen that. And it has a really bad charging curve. Peaks up for half a second, a little over 200, and then drops down. It's below 150 by 15-20%. It's really a bad charging curve that takes 10 to 80% in 39 minutes. So really unimpressive. Tesla did actually kill off this model September of 2023. I purchased mine in the end of June of 2023. So unfortunately, I got caught in them still offering it. They had already offered it for about 2 years for employees and kind of friends of Tesla for a little while. Before that, I think about 2 years almost. So my hope was that it had been thoroughly vetted and was a pretty good product by the time I purchased it. There had been very few media reports, very little testing publicly posted about this battery or this trim level of the Model Y. So I took the risk and purchased it, and unfortunately it has been a flop for me. So just a little background there on the Model Y 4680 all-wheel drive. And just to be clear, this is the Model Y all-wheel drive. That's the name of the trim. The rear-wheel drives, the all-wheel drive in other markets, the long range are not impacted by this 4680 battery pack. Those all either have 2170 or in some other markets, LFP batteries. Well, we're going to do a battery health test for the first time, 33,000 miles. Tap health test in the service menu. So there's some notes. You need over 6 kilowatts. Max SOC is over 50%. Have to disable quite a few things, so that's fine. So we'll run this. We have to unlock the gateway, so one moment here. So I just turned off summon standby mode, sentry mode, cabin overheat protection, and I don't use automatic preconditioning. It will take up to 24 hours. I don't think that will happen. And then let's do start. So we're going to do right turn signal, foot on the brake, processing. It's basically just lets it do operations. Let's turn signal off. We'll do health test. So let me actually plug it in. I wasn't sure if I had to be plugged in first or before or after. So let me plug in. So we're now plugged in. It's a 48 amp hotel charger. We love to see it. And we'll do rerun, run. So it is now running. It's stopped, and it's going to drain down the battery all the way down to 0%. And then it will charge back up to 100%, and then we'll have an idea of what the battery health is. Well, it's the next morning. The health test is complete. And looks like battery health is 91.3%. So that's really bad, actually, with 33,000 miles on it. So definitely going to be doing some looking into there. And interestingly, Tessie, the Fleet API app that uses the Tesla data, is showing 4.98% degradation, so about 5% rather than the 9 or the 8.7% that we're seeing. And also it's showing that we added 63.4 kilowatt hour, even though the car is showing added 56 kilowatt hour. So not entirely sure what's going on there. A little bit weird. Would love to hear what you guys think down below. Have you guys run one of these health tests? Have you compared it to Teslafy, Tessie? And what were your results like? Do you think it is reality? So definitely comment down below. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button. See you guys on the next one.